Don't let anybody tell you that SUVs aren't taking over the automotive industry. Everybody, and I do mean everybody, has jumped on the bandwagon of building one, including Rolls-Royce. The company introduced their Cullinan SUV a few years ago, named after the largest diamond ever discovered in nature. And now they've decided to up the luxury ambiance even further by building a special Black Badge model. The Black Badges are the most luxurious and most exclusive versions of Rolls-Royces available, and now you can get it on the Cullinan. Let's go ahead and see what it's all about. So let's start by taking a look around the Rolls-Royce Cullinan Black Badge, where this vehicle is unmistakably a Rolls-Royce. I don't think you're going to be confusing this for a Range Rover anytime soon. We have the massive Rolls-Royce grille, which is of course metal, no plastic here on the Cullinan. And because we have the Black Badge, something that you're not going to see is any essence of chrome. It literally does mean Black Badge, because here's the Spirit of Ecstasy and it is all black rather than chrome like a normal Rolls-Royce. We also have this black grille, these sort of shadow chrome in the grille, making it look like an illusion of black. We have the inverted double R, which is a little bit different here on the Black Badge. I think it looks absolutely fantastic, although I wish Rolls-Royce would have sent me a more exciting color than machine gray. I actually think that's a little bit boring. You should go for something crazy like red or purple or something. We do have 22-inch unique wheels. These are unique to the Black Badge model. Like all Rolls-Royces, they have floating hubcaps, so no matter where you position the wheel, that double R badge is going to remain flat. This is also the first time Rolls-Royce has ever put a painted caliper on one of their cars. You can get red, I think you can get yellow and some other colors as well, which is really nice. This is a really long vehicle. It's 210 inches long. So if you want to know where that stacks up against like a mainstream car, it's about the same as a Chevrolet Tahoe. It's about an inch shorter than a Cadillac Escalade, but the wheelbase on this is enormous at 130 inches. Now back here, we have typical Rolls-Royce Cullinan vibe. We have the square Rolls-Royce taillights here. We have these integrated exhausts that are a different exhaust on the Black Badge model than what you're gonna get on a normal Cullinan. And just like up front, we have a black Rolls-Royce badge with inverted double R's. And as we start off the interior, before we start talking about it, I want to start this off a little bit differently. I just hopped into the Cullinan and the door is a little bit far for me to reach. So of course I don't have to reach for it. This is a Rolls-Royce after all. I have a button right here and I just push that and the door will close for me automatically. All right, so now let's hop inside the Cullinan, where we're gonna start talking a little bit about what you get with the Black Badge model on the inside here. So for starters, you're going to notice that there is not an ounce of wood on this interior like you get on a normal Cullinan. Instead, you have this new carbon fiber weave design. Rolls-Royce has gone out of their way to make this with like 7 coats of lacquer, and it has to dry for and cure for like several days. It is beautiful. It is a really nicely done way of doing carbon fiber. However, I do think I personally would prefer wood. So I love all of the exterior changes that are done on the Black Badge model, but I do think I slightly prefer wood in here. But I'm sure that if you pay Rolls-Royce enough money, they will make you a Black Badge with wood. That's just my guess. Some other Black Badge changes, not too much else to speak of. We have little red needles at the end of our digital tachometer and speedometer and fuel gauges and all of that stuff. These look like regular analog gauges, but they're actually 3 digital circles, which is pretty interesting as well. We've got our 10.25-inch display. It is a touchscreen now, which is really nice, very convenient here. I can raise or lower my Spirit of Ecstasy from here. And you'll notice that we have a very BMW style iDrive controller here. That's because of course BMW owns Rolls-Royce, but we have the Spirit of Ecstasy here in the middle that you can do writing on. But no matter which way you spin the Rolls-Royce Flying Lady, she is going to remain the same. She's not going to spin with the rest of the controller, which is quite cool. So you can use this to control the system here, or it's a touchscreen as I mentioned. We do have Apple CarPlay CarPlay. That's nice that they've decided to add this on Rolls-Royce here, but as you can see, I have not found a way to make it full screen, so that's a little bit annoying. You can cycle through what's here on this other side of the screen, so you can have fuel economy, you can have your main Rolls-Royce built-in map over there as well, but this is wireless CarPlay, which is really nice, which means I can take my phone and I can put it in the center console where we have this really nicely designed wireless charger. It kind of clamps it in to the side here. I think it is one of the best wireless chargers I've ever used. So bravo, Rolls-Royce. That's a really clever design there. And I do love the BMW tech integration here. It means that everything functions beautifully. I love that Rolls-Royce has mimicked BMW's home buttons here, so you can program these to do different functions. This one's going to lower the car. This one's going to change it to pop 2K. On the radio, you can put nav system destinations in here. Love that. I love that feature so much. We've got a big volume knob that controls our Rolls-Royce bespoke stereo. It's really good. It's 600 watts. 16 speakers, which is really great. It sounds really crisp. I will say there are maybe one or two audio systems that I've tested in the world that sound maybe slightly better, Volvo's and Bentley's name unit, but I'm not complaining. The radio in here is fantastic. And we've got some interesting controls that are a little bit different than what you'd find on a normal vehicle. So we have a column mounted shifter. Here it's digital, so you pull it up and for reverse, and you have these beautiful 360-degree camera with these really cool 3D graphics. So as you get too close to like a wall or something, those go from green to red, which is really cool. Same kind of stuff you'll find on a BMW model. You just push P to put it back into park. We do have night vision on this camera, on this system as well, which is really cool. You don't have your normal fan speeds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have off, soft, medium, high, and you can put it into middle positions between those as well. Of course, we have heated, ventilated seats, heated steering wheel as well, and these seats do give massage. Fantastic massage, by the way. All of these buttons, if you haven't noticed, these are not plastic. They look like metal. That's because they are. Listen to this. That is real metal on these air vents. Everything in here feels expensive. To close the vents, you have these pulleys that feel really, really nice. They're like damped, so it feels like you're really pulling a valve, not just telling an electronic thing to shut it off, which is really cool. And Rolls-Royce doesn't give you normal temperature controls. Like, you don't set the temperature to 70 degrees. You have these little blue and red rockers. There's an upper one and a lower one. So if you want your feet warm, but your torso cool, you can do that, which is pretty amazing. And before we get into the back seat, I just want to make mention of two simple things here. One, we have this clock with the infinity symbol here, the Black Badge logo. It's a little bit far away, but I guess that's good for the passenger to be looking at. And I want to mention the cup holders because they're here under this little drawer and they're a bit small. I have a Yeti that I usually carry with me, and it does not fit in there. Rolls-Royce, you need to have bigger cup holders. So we're gonna hop into the back seat, but before I do, we're gonna show off the coach doors, or suicide doors as the uncouth might call it. The doors are rear hinged on the Cullinan, like most Rolls-Royces, and you also get a handy umbrella here. That's for the chauffeur to use. They can deploy it as the person in the rear is getting out so they don't get wet. And then once they're done with it, they stick it back in the slot on the door, and there is a heater in there to ensure that the umbrella is nice and dry for its next operation. So now let's hop into the back of the Cullinan, where we have some optional extras here on this one. These doors are powered. There's a little button for it right here as well, but we have a really expensive seating package here as well. It costs $18,000. It's called immersive seating with this center console here. So instead of having a normal bench like on a base Cullinan, we have this upgraded seating. We have electric controls here that will allow allow me to slide this seat in different directions. This seat is also heated and ventilated with massage as well, which is quite nice. And I can push this little button here and slide the passenger seat up so I can give myself more space. Now we also have an $8,000 option here for these little picnic tables. These slide out, and then when I push another button, this screen is going to pop out. It is a touch screen that I can activate, and I can control it via touch, or in this little drawer here, I have a little pop-out drawer here that shows an identical iDrive controller, and it has a left and a right button, so I can use it to control this screen or that one next to it as well, which is really cool. I love this feature as well, although there's not that much you can do on this, to be honest. It is kind of just a mimic of what's up there, so you can use it to control the radio and stuff like that. We also have these beautiful lamb's wool carpets. I almost want to take my shoes off. It's so comfortable. These are the nicest carpets I've ever experienced in a car. We have so much air vents here. We have 2 air vents here on the pillar. We have air vents here in the middle, and then there is an air vent underneath the passenger and driver seats as well. And we do have our own separate controls for that as well. You can plug in some headphones as well to listen to your media, which is quite nice. The best part about being back here is it gives you a moment to gaze up at the Starlight headliner, which again is optional. A lot of this stuff is optional extra here. They've added shooting stars to it now, so not only do the stars glisten in a pattern, you'll see every once in a while a streak will go across it. Looks beautiful, and Rolls-Royce can make this any constellation pattern you want. So if you want the exact constellations that were above the hospital on the day you were born, you can get that. We also have, as part of this center console here, we have a little drawer here, and when I go ahead and look in here, we have this nice, I think this is called a decanter with a nice Rolls-Royce logo on here. We also have some nice bourbon glasses as well with their own little mounting points. That is beautiful. We also have this area right here with the symbol of infinity that was first used on a Rolls-Royce powered speedboat back in like the 20s or 30s. That's what the Black Badge logo means here. And if I open that up, we have a little fridge with mounting points for your champagne flutes. How fancy. So I don't think too many people are going to be using their Rolls-Royce Cullinan to go to Home Depot, but anyway, let's go ahead and check out the storage space, where if I come over here onto the car to open up the trunk, you're going to see it's going to only open up the top portion of the tailgate. We have a lower portion here that you can open at by pushing this button here. You can also program it to open both if you want. So if I open it from the key fob, it will open both as well. Now that's going to reveal a little over 21 cubic feet of storage space back here. Because we have those fancy upgraded seats in the back, you cannot fold them down into the cabin. You can on the base Cullinan, which is pretty nice. And we do have this nice cargo divider here as well. This whole carpet area is carpeted, which is really nice. So 21 cubic feet of space is about 2 cubic feet more than what you'll get on the Phantom sedan. It's about 7 more than you'll get from the Ghost sedan. So this is the most practical Rolls-Royce available. But interestingly enough, it's actually less storage space than what you'll get in a BMW X3. Again, this isn't maximized. You'll see, look at these big wheel wells here that take up a lot of space, but it is more than what you'll get from a Bentley Bentayga. And Rolls-Royce does note that there is a little sticker here that says no dogs allowed. Because that rear glass is there, this area is not ventilated, so you won't want to put anything living back here. And when I go ahead to close the button, of course, both pieces of the tailgate are going to close automatically. All right, so now it's time for the best part of this review, getting the Rolls-Royce Cullinan Black Badge out on the road. And boy, oh boy, this car is absolutely exquisite. And it starts under the hood with the engine, where we have Rolls-Royce's 6 3/4 liter V12 with 2 turbochargers tacked on. And because we have the Black Badge, we've got 29 extra horsepower and 34 extra pounds-feet of torque versus a standard Cullinan, for totals of 600 horsepower and 664 pound-feet of torque. Those are what Rolls-Royce would call adequate, sir. Just enough to motivate this 6,069 pound nice luxury SUV. And it all goes out through an 8-speed ZF automatic. It's the same one BMW uses in all of their cars, but it's the best transmission in the world, bar none. So I'm fine with that choice. And because we have so much extra power on tap, Rolls-Royce says that the Cullinan Black Badge only takes 5.9 seconds to do 60 miles per hour, which is fast enough, I would say. And why don't we actually test that, shall we? I don't think you're going to see too many reviews of the Rolls-Royce Cullinan Black Badge where they do an acceleration test, but we can do it, why not? We don't have any sport modes or any paddle shifters or anything in this vehicle, but we do have a button on the stock that says low. I'm going to go ahead and push it, and let's see how the Cullinan gets off the line. Ready? Here we go. Very smooth, very drama-free launch. Oh my gosh, and then the turbos kick in. Oh my God, that got really quick in a hurry. Wasn't expecting that. So it does not let you surge off ridiculously. You cannot let the car shake the occupants, because that would be uncouth, that would be undelightful. So this low button that I mentioned, that's kind of interesting. So it's not a sport mode, as I mentioned, but it will open up the exhaust a little bit. The Black Badge model has a V12 with a different exhaust that's just slightly throatier than the regular one. Now listen, when you're in normal mode, you do not hear the V12. It is absolutely silent, but Rolls-Royce knows that Black Badge customers want maybe just a little bit more of acoustic pleasure from their V12, which is pretty interesting. And I think the low mode is basically going to tell the transmission to just hold gears a little bit longer, give you a little bit better response. And as I mentioned when we were doing the interior, you don't have a normal tachometer. Oh no, you have your power reserve gauge that lets you know what percentage of the power you still have remaining to use. And I'm telling you, like, even if you were doing like some serious highway merging, like merging into some pretty quick oncoming traffic, I've rarely seen this gauge get above about 60%. So you usually have at least 40% of this engine's power remaining, because it has so much torque, it can just move the vehicle effortlessly with no troubles whatsoever. And the experience is underpinned by Rolls-Royce's architecture of luxury. That's what they call the platform that the Cullinan rides on. It's also the same platform that the Ghost and Phantom sedans are also based on. So there is no BMW X7 DNA here, for all of you internet commenters that want to say so. I believe the only things that this vehicle shares with the X7 are its all-wheel drive system and that ZF 8-speed automatic transmission. And if that's all it shares, I am completely fine with that. And power goes out through all-wheel drive on this vehicle, and like some of the other vehicles based on this architecture of luxury, we've got all-wheel steering as well. Now that's going to help this massive vehicle. Like I said, this is a huge vehicle. It's going to help it turn a little bit tighter. So I've never felt like this vehicle is too large and too cumbersome to get around, especially because the steering is just so feather light. There is no weight to it whatsoever. I can drive this with my pinky fingers, as my mother likes to say. It's so easy. You can kind of just whisper and breathe on it. And we just did a very sharp 180-degree turn there. Super easy, thanks to that all-wheel steering. And then there's the magic carpet ride suspension. This is probably the biggest component of the magic that is the Rolls-Royce Cullinan driving experience. It's an air suspension that soaks up bumps in a way that I have never ever experienced. It is so quiet in here, you just do not feel road imperfections. This just eliminates them completely. There is nothing on four wheels, no SUV in the world, no Maserati, Bentley, Bugatti, Lamborghini, or otherwise, that matches the luxury experience of the Cullinan. And I'm telling you, I've driven all of these vehicles, all of these luxury SUVs. Nothing comes close to the Cullinan. This driving experience is in a league of its own. So before you start to compare, oh, well, why wouldn't you just spend half the money and get a Bentayga or a Lamborghini Urus because it's faster? I will promise you that neither one of those vehicles holds a candle in luxury to this. Those vehicles might be a little bit more dynamic and sporty, but Rolls-Royce has the market saturated on luxury. This is the most amazing experience I've had in an SUV. And before I wrap it up, I want to just go over some of the practical concerns that you might be thinking about if you're going to jump into Cullinan Black Badge ownership. You can still tow with this vehicle. Rolls-Royce says it'll tow about 7,200 pounds, so it is semi-useful as an actual SUV there. And the fuel economy, again, not super terrible for a 6,000 pound V12 SUV. Rolls-Royce says you'll get about 12 miles per gallon in the city, 20 on the highway, and 14 combined. And I've got about that, which is not terrible considering that this car has 600 horsepower and can do the things that it can. So in terms of a driving experience, I don't think that there are any SUVs on the planet that should even be mentioned in the same sentence as the Cullinan. It is an experience unlike any other. So that was the 2021 Rolls-Royce Cullinan Black Badge. What an amazing vehicle. Starting price on one of these, if you could even come close to affording it, is $325,000 for a regular Cullinan. If you want the Black Badge and all of that entails, the different exterior, the carbon fiber inside, the bigger engine, that's $382,000. And if you have to ask me whether or not it's worth it, you probably can't afford it in the first place. It's really just a taste thing, and if you want to be part of Rolls-Royce's exclusive Black Badge Club. I personally love everything they've done on the exterior of the Black Badge, but I just prefer wood. See if Rolls-Royce will make you a Black Badge with a wood interior. Now, we have tons of optional extras on this Cullinan, bringing the price from about $382,000 to over $474,000. That is a huge amount of money. That's a house or several houses in some part of the country, but I am here to tell you that it is worth every penny. I've driven every other luxury SUV that even comes close to this, and I'm ready to tell you that none of them really do come close. There is nothing else on the market even remotely similar to the Cullinan. No Bentley, no Bugatti, no Maserati, no Lamborghini. This is a vehicle that is in a class of one. I love the Cullinan, and it is the pinnacle of SUV motoring. We really hope you've enjoyed this review of the Rolls-Royce Cullinan. For more videos like it, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to be alerted of our latest videos. And did you know we post content everywhere else too? We have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all covered, and we have our apps on iOS and Android. That's where you can keep up with all the latest and greatest in automotive news. And from me and the Spirit of Ecstasy, I'll see you next time.